Hello, dear friend. Okay, this is part 2. If you have missed the first video of this series, please go back and take a peek at that. It's going to go ahead and catch you up on where we are starting at now. So we've already created the cameras and the leaves that were on the second page of the SVG art. Now we need to work on this really fun photogenic piece. And so what I like about this is that we are going to size this in a way that it will work for either a photo mat, or you can leave it open and be able to use it for a little bit of journaling or something like that. So what I am going to do is go ahead and flip this around, just because I'm looking at my picture and that is what makes sense for my brain. And so I want my screen to look like my picture. So I just rotated that a little bit. I've not changed anything, just rotated it on the canvas. And we're going to add a little bit of the black offset. Now this is going to be a little bit thicker probably than some of the others that we've done. Let's go ahead and take a peek at this. Let's see what that looks like. This just might be pretty perfect right as we stopped. Okay, let's flatten. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Okay, so the I believe that was the point. Okay, it was the 0.097 in case I was too quick on my screen. So 0.097 is what we offset this at. Now, what I want to do is I want this height to be at 4 inches. So we're going to move that to 4. And then that is going to put our width almost 3.5. And so this should be the perfect size to fit a 3x4 photo. So let's just go ahead and we're popping here and check. Okay. So I'm going to grab a little square in here. Let's change it to 3x4. We're just going to test this. Okay. We'll just change it to white, make it look like a photo mat. How about that? And look at that, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay. So now you are going to be able to use it for a photo mat, or it will fit in a 3x4 photo well. Okay. So this one, on this page of SVGs that I'm looking at, there's 2 of them, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, we've got a couple more in other places. So again, you'll just go ahead and, duplicate this as many times as necessary. I actually think looking at my photos that we've used linen for this. So what I'm going to do is we'll go in and unflatten it. Again, I told you guys I'm a little scatterbrained. You know this. Click on that layer over in the layers panel, then come up here and we'll use linen. Okay. Now we're going to go back and group it and flatten it. Okay, perfect. So now we're ready to go. So again, duplicate that as many times as necessary. So now we're going to go over to the next page of the SVGs. There are cameras on there that we've already done. There is the photogenic mat on there that we've already done. We need the love this, and we need the green scalloped frame. So we're going to use this one and this one. Okay, so let's just go right ahead and we'll use the love this first. So we'll do this one first. So we'll get this out of the way. I'm telling you, I'm just kind of like a hot mess whenever I'm sitting here playing in Design Space. My canvas is just like all kinds of craziness. So the overall size of our love this is a width of 2 inches, and we're going to do that very last. So we I always like to blow it up so I can get a really good look at what it's going to kind of look like before we do the overall end sizing. So I'm going to ungroup this so I can play with each layer. We're going to click on the ballerina heart. I'm going to come up here to offset because I want that really pretty black layer, but we need it much smaller than what it is right now. So we're moving it down to the 28. Okay. Click apply. Let's see. I'm just going to go in here and flatten this to see what this looks like. Okay. We're unflattening this. I think this is going to be good. So now, whoops, see, that's what happens when we use the canvas instead of the layer. So I'm going to click my back button so it'll all kind of go back together the way that it was. And then I'm going to come over here in the layers panel, which is where I should have been working to begin with. And we are going to put a much darker offset on there. So see, it's going to come up at the 28 because remember, that's what it defaulted to. That's the last one that we used. So we're going to go in and use our toggle switch. And I want to, let's see, I'm just looking here at my files. we're going to bump it up to the 97 and see what happens, okay? We actually might make this even bigger than the 97, okay? So see, it defaulted to 97 because that's where we started at. That's where we ended at. So let's bump it up to the 12.5 and see what happens. Okay, that looks much better. That looks exactly like my picture here that I'm looking at. Okay, but what I want to do again, let's see if we have any small. Okay, nope, I think we're okay. I actually think we have it a little bit bigger because I've got a few of those little cutouts here, and I don't like those. So watch what we do again. We're going to backspace that again, go back to your offset. And I want my little cutouts to be gone. Okay, you guys can see where we would have our little blade hit. I don't want my blade to hit there because it's just going to kind of gnarl it up. I don't like that at all. So I'm just double checking on my files. I want this on camera to match my file that I'm looking at. Okay, so we're up to 16.7. Let's check this out. Okay. So I do not want there to be I don't want my blade to come in here with these little bitty white cylindrical areas are. So you guys saw this a minute ago. We're going to click on this again. We're going to come over here to the main offset. We are going to change it to a basic cut. Okay. Now we're going to click the contour and we're going to hide this one and we're going to hide this one, okay? The others are big enough, they're gonna be all right, but I don't want my blade to be crazy in there. So we're gonna go back to the black, okay? Now you see it, it's looking like our original image again. We're gonna move it back to a print and cut. See, you have to do that because it will not allow you to hide your contour when you're using using a print and cut as the operation. You can only do it with an actual cut. So you have to go in and change it in the operation panel up here, and then you can change it on the canvas and then just change it back to print and cut. So we're kind of cheating, okay? But we're using Cricut's rules. So we're going to go ahead and group that back together. We are going to flatten it now, and our overall size for this one was 2 inches. So that is what we've got. So we've got it ready to go there, okay? So now we're up to this fun little frame here. Okay, again, we're just going to make it bigger so we can get a good look at what's going on here. Okay, so we've got our frame here. Now I'm going to ungroup it because I am not keeping the reunion part in the middle. I want that completely gone. So I'm deleting that. Okay, so now we're up here working in the panel just like always. Okay, so let's see. We want a little bit of a black outline around our scallopedy part, but I'm swapping these. I want the scallopedy part in the middle to be the linen or the white, and I want the outer edge to be the sage. So we're going to go in here and do a little bit of flip-flopping, okay? So we are going to change this to sage. All right, now it looks funny. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. We'll fix it. And we're moving that to white, okay? So now this frame matches the original. See the one over here that kind of matches it, but it's the circle, the oval here, that has the white on the inside and the green around the outside. The one we were playing with was opposite. So we now have matching frames. So you guys can see really how easy this is to go in and maneuver these and make them to work for your own personal creative style. So now we're going to go back over to the layers tab. And again, we're going to work over here. Whoops. We're going to work over here just because it's a little easier and you're not going to be hitting things you're not supposed to be hitting, okay? So let's go in and we're going to click the white one, and we want to add a little bit of a black offset there, and we definitely don't want 16.7. That's going to be wild. So let's move that back down. Again, I'm just using my toggle button, okay? So I am clicking apply. So now I have the black on there, and I'm just going to click it and flatten it just to see what it looks like. Okay, see, I just wanted a little bit of a black outline around there. So that's going to be perfect. So now we're going to unflatten it so we can continue working. So you guys may find yourself, the more familiar you get with this, you might find yourself doing exactly what I'm doing and going back and flattening it, unflattening and flattening and unflattening like over and over and over again to check to see what it looks like, because it's many times very bold on your canvas, but then when you flatten it, it's like, oh gosh, now it looks kind of dreary and sad, right? So don't be afraid. You can always unflatten it. And then, guys, here's the deal. This is what I tell people, my ladies that don't have a Cricut, or maybe they have a Cricut and they're too scared to use it because they don't know how to use Design Space. My goodness, you guys, let me just please tell you, you can't break anything. You can't break anything on here. There's always a back button. There's always a save button, that kind of thing. It's just so user-friendly, and you're never going to get used to using it if you don't just dive in, okay? Now, one of the things that we should have been doing all along is get into the habit of clicking this little guy up here. Save, save, save. You see when there's a little asterisk over here, it means you have unsaved changes on your canvas. So many times when I go through and I will get one or a couple of these done, when I think about it, I'll come up here and I'll just click save. Okay. Now, if maybe you're making some changes and you're thinking, gosh, I'm not entirely sure that I want this change. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't want to lose what I have. You can always go in there and create a second file. So instead of clicking save, which is going to save this one, you can go in and click save as, and then name it something else. Or sometimes I go do this with nearly every project that I'm creating, especially like really funky, interactive things that I'm doing from scratch. If I'm trying a few different ways of doing something during my alteration process, I'll go in and I'll put like number 2, number 3, number 4. That way I can kind of keep them separate in my mind, but I've not actually lost any of my work by going in and making different styles of changes. The thing is, once you open your projects back up, which is found under my stuff, you could just go in and delete the ones you don't end up using. It's not hurting you at all. It's not an inconvenience at all. You can save 100 of these if you really want to. I think 100 is probably overboard, but you can save as many as you want, really, and then go in and whichever one you end up using, or maybe you go and you copy and paste different aspects of the multiple files that you're working with. Just go in and delete the ones you don't want, and you never have to think about it again. So really, it's so user-friendly, you guys. Don't be overwhelmed. You're not going to learn how to do it unless you come in and just play, okay? So maybe, if anything, these videos are helpful for you guys, just getting a feel of the different operations and how you make the changes and what the different buttons mean and all that good stuff. So anyway, okay, that was me on a soapbox. So now we need to add a bit of a black outline around the green. So I'm clicking on the green over on the layers panel. We're going to go to our offset. We want it bigger than the 28. So let's just see how big we're going. Okay, so we've got it at the 97. Let's see what 97 is going to look like. That might just be about right. Let's check it. We'll hover and flatten. Okay, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so the height on this one is 2. So we're going to go in and change that to 2. There's 2 of them on this panel that we're looking at. So definitely go in and you'll duplicate that again. Okay, so now we are on to the next page of print and cuts, because on that one we've already done the photogenic and we've already done the camera. So now we will use our viewfinder, this little teeny tiny guy up here, our viewfinder, and our next inline, our little scallop D like frame here. Okay, so we do not need to change the color because this one has the same coloring that we wanted. So all we have to do is break it apart over here on our layers panel. We are going to click on the white frame and add our offset. I believe it was 28 that we used last time. So we'll just move it down here and see if we can get it to match. Okay. We're just going to hover this and flatten just to see what it looks like. Okay, perfect. See, I just wanted a little bit of a black line around there. It didn't need to be bold like the green. So now we're going to come back to the green, and I believe we were at 97 on the last one. So let's pop up here. I tell you guys, I've gotten into the habit now of using my arrow keys with the little circle up here instead of typing in my actual numbers. And for whatever reason, I'm remembering my sizes a little better so that all of my images are more uniform, that are going to be on the same layout, that kind of thing. So if you guys get into the habit of doing this, maybe your software is being a little glitchy like mine, I think that you'll really enjoy just hovering on the circle, remember here, and then using your arrow keys to make it larger or smaller. Okay, so we're at 97. We are going to click apply. There we go. Now let's hover and we're flattening. Perfect. I love it. It's beautiful. So our height on this one is 4. So we're going to go up here and change it to 4. Now this one is ready to go. So the next thing on the page that I have here is my flower. So the same thing that we did with the camera, we are going to add a decorative layer on the mulberry flower here. So we're going to click over here. We're going to ungroup it so we can work with it individually in the layers panel. So we're going to click on that mulberry flower. We are going to offset. We do not want the 97. That's going to be wild. Let's bring it down to that 28. I believe that's what we're going to want. We'll click apply. There you go. There's that beautiful black outer line there. So let's flatten it. Perfect. Okay, but what we're going to do on this flower is we want a little bit of a black border around the entire thing, kind of like we did our camera. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to group this. Now we're going to offset again. So let's see. We're going to toggle our little guy up here. We're going to go back to the 97 and let's see what happens there. We'll click apply. Now you've got that nice bold black outer edge. We will flatten. Perfect. Okay, so the two on this page are a height of 1.5. Again, you guys use the flower a lot, so you're going to go in there and size them, duplicate as necessary as many times as you need, and then size them as well, okay? So next is our viewfinder. Now I clicked on, whenever we ungroup this from the big 12 by 12 layout, they got a little kind of out of sorts. You can see instead of having to fiddle around and get everything back on there, you can hover over all of the images that you need to have aligned. Go up here and click your align and then center. That really is not necessary to do at this point, but I just want to show you guys in case you didn't know about that feature. So now what we're going to do is we want to, since this is already ungrouped, we're going to come over here to the white one, and we're going to add our black offset like we have been doing. Let's bring it down to the 28. Oops, that's why we like to have it down here so you can see it with the little bubble up there. Okay, we're gonna do this again so you guys can see it. It was hidden. Bring your image down a little bit so that when your offset box pops up, it's not on top of there. Okay, so let's try this again. So we're gonna click on the white layer. Offset's going to pop up at 28 because that was the default. That's what we used last time. We are going to click, let's check our flatten. So we'll hover and flatten. Perfect. We just wanted a black outline around there. Now, some of these I have changed the color. Some of them are mist, which is what the default is here. And there are others that we've used that have the linen back behind there. So let's do one at a time. This one is done the way that it is with the exception of the black outer offset. So we're going to do the same thing. Have we grouped it back together? Okay, we have unflattened it. Let's unflatten it. So this will all be, now we will group it. Okay, now we'll do our offset. So let's go in here and we'll toggle back up to the 97. Click apply. Perfect. So now we're going to hover over that, click flatten, and we're good to go. This is sized at 3 inches. And on this sheet, you're going to need 3 of them with the mist. So let's pretend like we were making this and we would click we would duplicate that 3 times. So just to remind you, if you guys are maybe watching this video on your phone and you're working on your computer simultaneously, I'm going to remind you to click save. Okay. It's always a good reminder, right? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come right back up here. We're unflattening it. So we're going to change where the mist is here on the blue, which is the blue color. We are changing it to linen. So you can come over here to your layers panel, just click the little mist circle, come up here, linen, and you'll see that changed it all and you didn't have to do anything to it. So we're grouping that back together. Now we're going to go back up and add our 97 offset, and it's going to pop right up there because that was the default that we used before. Okay, so now hover it and flatten it. You guys can see once you kind of get into a groove, it is not difficult at all. It's really not difficult at all. It's not really even taking us a super long time, right? So we've got this, we'll move it over there. We'll go to our next page. Okay, so our next page has some more of the flowers. Those are different sizes, so you'll need to go ahead and duplicate your flower and size it as the guide is telling you. You are going to need another one of the linen viewfinders, okay? So you'll size that as you're needing it. I'm just going through here, making sure that we did not miss anything. There are butterflies on here, so you're going to go in and duplicate the butterfly. Remember, once you do these, all we have to do is duplicate in size as the cutting guide tells you, okay? So really, it is very user-friendly, guys. It's just one of those things. Don't be afraid. Just jump in and do it, okay? I promise you, it's so much fun. And again, you're not going to ruin anything. You can go in and click your back button, click your undo button, go in and delete it all together. Go back and start from scratch if you need to. If you're in doubt about something, like I've shared with you guys before, when I'm really kind of sitting playing with an image, maybe something that's a little intricate, and I want to try a few different things, or maybe I want to check some colors, change some colors, and that kind of thing. You would go in here and just make duplicates of them. If you don't want more of them on your canvas, like if they're kind of getting in your way, that kind of thing, then duplicate and then come over here and click your little eyeball and put it to sleep, okay? Stick it over in the closet so you don't have to see it anymore. But if you were to blunder this one up to the point that all the back spacing or all the undo buttoning in the world is not going to, bring it back to where you need it, just go back over here and bring your other one out from being asleep, okay? Bring him back to life on the canvas and then start from there, okay? So it's like you can duplicate and hide as many of them as you feel comfortable. And then when you're finished and you have the one that you want to use, just go delete all of the others, and it's no big deal, okay? So we'll move this one out of the way. Now we have one more on this page that we have to do from scratch. And so it's the looking good. And so we're going to do the very same thing. Let's make it a little bigger so you guys can see what's going on. And we will go up here to our offset. I think this one was a little bit bigger than the 28, but let's just kind of see what it looks like. So see, what I knew was going to be an issue was see how little these little letters are. It was really going to be, it was going to be a little difficult for it to go in and cut around all of those. I could see it like tearing my paper and that kind of thing. And so I knew that I wanted to basically have all of this covered up. All of these insides where all these little teeny tiny letters are, I wanted that all to be covered up, just kind of like a black square down here. So we are going to click our toggle button and we are going to move this bigger. And you can tell my machine is thinking. Come on there, buddy. And sometimes it just sits and stalls, which is a little frustrating in itself. So sometimes I will just start over again, like we're going to do here. Okay. I don't know if it's like everyone's software is a little glitchy like mine, but mine is just glitchy all the time. Okay. So let's try this again. We do not want a 97, but let's go in and see what it's going to take to get rid of all of those little bitty letters in there. Okay, so we're up to 111. So let's click. Now you guys can see this little bit here with the K. I know that is going to be a pain in the tail. And I also want to have black behind where the good is at. So we're going to go back over here to the layers panel, click the offset. It shows basic cut already. So we're going to go down here to the contour button and we are going to fill in here, here, and here. All these little teeny tiny bitty. Let's see what we did. There we go. Okay, so we've got looking covered up. All right, so we don't have any of these little teeny tiny little windows that we have to worry about. Then we need the good. For some reason, it did not cover up the good when we did the contour, so we're just going to cheat a little bit. So we're going to go get a square, okay? Or in our case, it'll be a rectangle here in a minute. And we're going to put it on top of there. Change it to black. Okay, I'm showing you all my tricks. Okay, we're cheating. And we're going to send it to the back. Well, bring forward a layer. Well, goodness sakes. Well, hold tight, friends, hold tight. I'm not sure why. Okay, we're gonna start over. See, this is just real life. This is what I do, real life, guys, okay? I promise you. Let's see what we are doing where it's not allowing us to cover this up into black. So we're gonna do this again. We're gonna click our offset. It's gonna default at what we clicked before. We are clicking apply. It is already set at basic cut, so let's come in here to our contour. We want to clean this up a little bit. So we're clicking, there we go. It hid our little triangle, so now it's going to cut out here. But now we need to figure out how we can cover up that black space or that blank space back there. So let's do this again. Not really sure why. Usually this little box trick works. We have to watch our time. We've got 4 minutes left. Let's see. It's just a matter of getting... Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I think I know what we did, guys. There's a white layer in there. I have absolutely no idea why there's a white layer in there. So we're going to hide that. There's our black, okay? I don't know why there was a linen layer and a white layer because that was just it looked like it was just a one layer piece. But we hid that white one because the white was covering up the black. So now you can see we've got our black box showing there. So now we're gonna hover over it. We're gonna click flatten. Now we're good to go. So this one is sized at 4 inches. And it's 3.27 is what it has on the width, but we're going to change that so it will fit in a 3x4 photo well. So we're just going to unlock the little lock up here and click 3. Okay, so it just changed the look of it just a teeny tiny bit. It made it a little bit slender, which is what I would like to be. Okay, so now you're going to duplicate this. This has 3 of them on this sheet, and there may be others on the other, the following sheets. But now you've got your looking good done, and we're going to finish that page as well. So we have, let's see, we have, oh, we may get the black one done. We've got 2 minutes left before this kicks me off. There's only one image left that we've not done yet. We have the rose, the leaves, and the butterflies. And so let's go in and we're going to unflatten this one so we can work on it. We are going to change we're changing all of this back to basic cut so it will allow us to mess with it. I feel it on now. Oh my word. We've got 1 minute and 50 seconds left. So let's go in and let's see. Woo! Okay, we're going to make this black. This last one is black. Here are our white rectangles that we used before. They're a little difficult to see because they have that grid, the white grid behind them. Let's go ahead and group that so we don't lose that, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to stretch this. So we're going to unlock the toggle here. And so it says that the height or the width on this case is 8.75 and the width is 3.33. Now what this means is it's stretched a little bit, but what is so neat about that is this is going to hold a 2" by 2" photo now. So that is why I stretched this one. We didn't stretch the other one, but this one will hold an actual 2" by 2" photo now. So then we have used this twice, so we would duplicate it, of course. And the other images that are left on the cutting guide are the butterflies at various sizes, the leaves at various sizes, and the roses at various sizes. One more thing that I will mention, guys, is on the leaves, the green leaves up here. Most every time we've used it, there are 2 of them used, and some of the time I have I flipped it. So you've got some that are going left and some that are going right. And you can decide how you want to put those whenever you're creating your pages. But is a little bit different in that area.